Hello, I'm Rick Vanover, Product Strategy Specialist for Veeam Software, and I'm happy to talk to you about Veeam Backup and Replication version 6 for service providers. Veeam Backup and Replication version 6 expands on a lot of the successful features that we had with version 5. We've expanded that to include multi-hypervisor support, enhanced replication, and enhanced scalability. So I'm going to take a moment now and show you some of these great new features, especially for providers. The first of which is this notion of a proxy. A backup proxy, which also can be used for replication, can really help the provider segment by allowing site-to-site compression with this new enhanced architecture. Basically, what we have now, this construct of a proxy, will allow communication from one VMware environment to another with compression. Okay, so your site-to-site replication jobs can really be enhanced, and we've got a lot of techniques that can help give some granular selection to this process. Specifically, we could say we must use direct SAN mode or virtual appliance or any other selections, including our data stores, on which data stores that proxy will use. The concept of the proxy is really aimed at allowing efficient site-to-site communication, but it doesn't stop there. We can jump in and put in some rules, right? So these networks have some different throttling rules in terms of throughput rates, and we can even be granular and put those in certain time frames. So we have a lot of options now with this enhanced architecture with Veeam Backup and Replication version 5. As it's graduated to version 6, our options just keep getting better. If you're not familiar with Veeam Backup and Replication, we also still include our vPower set of functionality, which in the VMware world is the difference maker. Basically, we can run a VM directly from our backup and get back up and running as quick as possible. This instant VM recovery capability allows us to run a virtual machine directly from the backup file from a backup repository without having to do a wholesale restore. We can bring a VM up in minutes rather than hours. And further, we don't have to we save a lot of troubleshooting expense in terms of time by doing this. If you're not familiar with that, definitely check out a lot of Veeam resources on instant VM recovery. But it doesn't stop there. Our backups really build on a lot of good features. So specifically, we're agentless in our backups. When we make our backup jobs, they're very straightforward. So I'm going to jump through and show you one of them right now. This particular backup is a SQL database server, and I can get very granular on my proxies. So this architecture, if I wanted to, I could leverage the automatic selection, or I could let Veeam Backup and Replication specifically be assigned to use certain proxy to do this work. Regardless, I've got options. But the good news is that all of our good features are still there. So specifically, our deduplication is included with our backup product. Now, our deduplication is included at no additional cost for all versions of backup, as well as a compression implementation, which without being a disk system, we can have pretty good deduplication on our backups. Probably the best feature that we have for the provider space is that our backups are agentless. We do provide application-aware processing, which will allow us to have application-consistent backups. So in this case, I've passed a set of credentials, but it doesn't stop there. Our backups are also configured to do log pruning. Very important on enterprise apps. This is done agentlessly. Good stuff. So consider that when we go about deploying an agentless backup solution, and Veeam's had that for a while. Good stuff. Scales really well. Easy to manage. Another good feature that we need to think about for the provider space is this notion of a container. So specifically, when I go to set up a backup job, I can back up a collection of objects in VMware. Okay, so I can look at my VMs and templates. I can look at my data stores. I can look at things like folders, resource pools, all those different constructs that I have in VMware, I can have available to me within Veeam Backup and Replication so that I can granularly do my backups to the level that I want to do, yet I can include new virtual machines that are added, organic growth, if you will. All of these features and more are available with Veeam Backup and Replication version 6, and I encourage you to check out the Veeam Service Provider plan at veeam.com.